And is there anyone in this United States that we do not treat as our brothers?
Yes.
Who?
Yeah.
The black people. Who else?
I recently had the chance to sit down with Jane Elliot, an internationally known anti-racism activist and educator who, in her own words, exposes prejudice and bigotry for what they truly are.
Martin Luther King Jr. had been one of our heroes of the month in February, along with, unfortunately, George Washington, who owned slaves, bought and sold people for money. Abraham Lincoln, who was incidentally our first black president. Did you know that?
No.
He was part black, part white, and part Cherokee Indian.
What?
Yeah. Now, you look that up. You research that, and you're going to find out something you should have known a long time ago.
Put that in the history books.
Yeah, put that in the history books. And why haven't we?
Right.
Yeah, and why don't we now? Look it up. I think you'll be astounded at what you'll find out. But our lesson plan for the next day, the next day, the 5th, was to learn the Sioux Indian prayer that says, "O Great Spirit, keep me from ever judging a man until I've walked a mile in his moccasins." So I decided that I was going to allow some of my 3rd graders to walk in the shoes of a child of color in this country for a day. So I put brown-eyed people on the top and blue-eyed people on the bottom, and I treated the brown-eyed people the way we white folks treat each other, and I treated blue-eyed people the way we white folks treat people of color.
Jane travels the world performing her famous blue eye, brown eye exercise and giving lectures.
I talk about the ignorance of treating people positively or negatively based on physical characteristics over which they have no control, and that includes skin color. And as long as we live in a society where it's all right to treat people unpleasantly on the basis of your ignorance about skin color, that's how long we'll have a problem.
I asked her where the inspiration for her well-known exercise came from. Her response? Hitler.
One of the ways they decided who went into the gas chamber during what has come to be called the Holocaust was eye color. If you had a good German name but you had brown eyes, they threw you into the gas chamber because they thought you might be a Jewish person who was trying to pass. And they killed hundreds of thousands of people on the basis of eye color alone.
The University of Akron was fortunate enough to have Jane perform one of her lectures at E.J. Thomas Hall, where students listened to her, then were able to pick her brain with an open Q&A at the end. We not only learned from her, but she from us as well.
And I learned that it's a learned response. Nobody's born a racist. Nobody's born a bigot. Those are all things you have to learn. Anything you learn, you can unlearn. It's time to unlearn our bigotry, and it's time to unlearn our racism.
As you can imagine, this is not easy, and Jane goes through a lot to get her word heard.
I've been hit by a white male. I've had a knife pulled on me. I've been threatened with death numerous times. Oh yeah, that's par for the course. White people can't take, for a few minutes, what we expect people of color to live with for a lifetime.
If there's one piece of knowledge that she wants you to take away from this,
there's only one race, people. Look at every student beside you, around you, behind you, in front of you, and every instructor, and realize that we are all members of the same race. You're all members of the family of man. You're my family, and I will not tolerate having people say ignorant, abusive things about members of my family just because of that other person's ignorance.
students are leaving Jane Elliot's lecture here at E.J. Thomas Hall with high hopes, open hearts, and a newfound respect for one another. For Lights, Camera, Akron, this has been Brooke McKivergan.